What you are looking at here is an example of a Zehnder HRV Comfo 550 installation. We note the 7-inch insulated Comfo pipe on the left-hand side that is typically used for exterior exhaust and intake for the HRV, and then off of the HRV to go to the supply and return from the house, we use Comfo tube, 7-inch Comfo tube to 7-inch pipe that goes down this ceiling to the manifolds and silencers that are typical of Zehnder equipment. Normally, the Zehnder would have been placed in this area where the monitors are, where the manifolds are, and we can see the Comfo tube that comes off of the manifolds for distribution of supply air and return air from the house. The Comfo 550 would normally have been installed in this central location, but due to the long length that we would have had to use the Comfo pipe to go to the outside, we opted for keeping the Comfo 550 closer to the outside, really close, as you can see in this case, where the exhaust is just a few feet. That's the top pipe on the left-hand side. Just a few feet to the outside, and then the intake goes down underneath the floor about 10 feet to the right of the Comfo 550 to the outside for intake. I think it's about 12 feet. But if we had placed the 550 here with the manifolds that are usually attached right to the Zehnder unit, we would have lost an extreme amount of air pressure to and from the outside without and this allows us to do this without cranking the Comfo 550 really high, so we can keep it energy efficient. As you notice here how these are clipped, the Comfo tubing is clipped to the manifolds, and how the manifolds are attached together. In this case it's the return line, and we had to take some of those tubings and swing them to the left underneath behind the manifolds, and as you see them going there to various parts of the house on that side. And also we opted for using the ceiling for the Comfo tubing on this side as well, as it freed up more space, storage space here in the attic, as well as using less Comfo tubing that goes to the mother-in-law's apartment. And up here we can see the supply line, or rather the return line for the Zehnder for the attic. And if we swung all the way around, we can see the supply line for the Zehnder for the attic above the Comfo 550. This is an illustration of how unique the Comfo tube for Zehnder is, as you can drill a 3 1/4 or 3 1/8 hole in a partition wall and run your Comfo tube down to from your attic through the second floor to the first floor. As we stated previously, this Zehnder HRV is being utilized for two different houses. As mother-in-law's apartment is here, and again we went along against the ceiling. We opted for the ceiling in order to utilize the distance in relationship to the amount of CFM that we needed, and also for storage space in this area. Going to show you typical ceiling diffusers or ceiling mounts for the Zehnder. Sometimes though, we'll use this style here, which is a rectangular box. It depends on the amount of CFM that you're requiring from each room. In the case of this delivery system here for the supply, obviously the tubes attached are going to give you more air to this area. And in the case of this bathroom, it needs extra ventilation, so it has 3 tubes returning to the Zehnder Comfo 550.